Hello and welcome to On the Past, a new series from the Morning Advertiser exploring how pubs are using food to drive trade and footfall in a challenging environment. I'm Phoebe Fraser, and in each episode I'll be talking to chefs across the UK to discuss what's actually working in pubs today.
In this episode, I'm speaking to Ayesha Kalaji, chef owner of Queen of Cups Glastonbury and Estrella Damm's Top 50 Gastropubs Chef of the Year, about running one of Somerset's most acclaimed pubs, blending Middle Eastern flavours with West Country produce and building a pub identity rooted in heritage, seasonality and hospitality. Ayesha, thank you for joining us. Can you start by just telling us a little bit about Queen of Cups and sort of your ethos and what you're doing here?
Absolutely. So we sort of say fall into a few categories. We're sort of a gastropub, we do music, we're a restaurant, we're sort of so many things, but it's rooted in classic French techniques that create modern Middle Eastern flavours, but showcasing the best of like really hyper-local produce. And my butcher's like 5 doors down. The veg just arrived this morning from a local farm.
Queen of Cups feels unlike any other pub in the UK. Did you kind of want to build something this personal to you?
I think it was never really a conscious decision. I just sort of did what felt right and what felt right to me. So I think it's very much a reflection of who I am. The food is quite nostalgic and personal. I think that's why a lot of the flavours, I would never say anything's particularly authentically Middle Eastern that we do, because that just simply isn't the case. I grew up in Anglesey, not the heart of the Middle East. So it's my sort of homage to my heritage. It's the food seen through my lens. So that's kind of what shaped it. But then also, we're in Glastonbury. It's quirky, it's unusual, it's esoteric. And all of that energy, I feel like, is steeped in the building from my customers to my suppliers. So I think we're inescapably Glastonbury in what we do. And so I think it's a fusion and a melding of so many worlds that have come together to create what Queen of Cups is.
Definitely. And why did you choose Glastonbury to settle down in?
I would say it was a bit of a happy accident. It was one of my very good friends had a B&B in town, like a really lovely one. And all of our guests were saying, where can we go for dinner? And at that time, 5 years ago, there was one Italian and that was it. Yeah. So she was sort of shrugged. And I was working in London at the time. It was pandemic time. So, I was working in an amazing restaurant, but we were making meal kits. So it did feel kind of soulless.
Yeah.
I was getting tubes in, empty tubes in to go and make 60 kilos of hummus for meal kits. And I was kind of really dissatisfied, and I was at a stage in my career where I knew it was time to do my own thing, but no one can do that in central London, not without millions or selling a few kidneys. So when my friend said, would you ever consider Glastonbury? I was like, I hadn't really thought about it, but I came up to view this place. It was the Hawthorns at the time, and the owner was retiring, and he didn't want it to go to like a big conglomerate. He wanted it to be someone's first place. Yeah. So I met him and I viewed it in the November, signed the lease in December, quit my job in January, moved here in April and opened in May of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what a time to open as well.
Oh, gee. Yeah.
And how much of the pub is shaped by your own story and upbringing?
I think every element is shaped in some way by me, whether it's, I've picked every wine on the wine list and I love them all. I work closely with the suppliers. The menu is very much representative of who I am as a chef. Our lava bread falafel. Falafel is so intrinsically and recognizably Arab. Yeah. But then inserting something so traditionally Welsh as lava bread is a real homage and a real shout out to where I grew up in Wales. So I do think that every part of it is so personal, and I agree. We have a set menu, and it starts with my grandmother's pickles. So everyone who comes to dine with us and has a set menu will start their meal with my grandmother's pickles and then end it with me. So yeah, from the start to finish, it's very much got my touch on it.
Yeah, definitely. And did you ever worry that Middle Eastern food sort of in the middle of the Somerset countryside might not translate well?
You know what, there have been challenges, I won't deny that. I think trying to encourage people to sharing plates, that was a big hurdle to start with, because people go, well, I want to order this and I want to order this, and we go, well, no, you're actually just meant to share it. And so we still get it now occasionally. We'll send the bread out and someone goes, but how do we share it? Can you cut it for us? And I'm like, just rip it, get your hands involved. So, there's still challenges to this day regarding it, but overall, I think we've been so welcomed and accepted.
Yeah.
And I think Glastonbury was crying out for somewhere for people to go to eat. So, you know, I'm phenomenally lucky that the locals have been so wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. I think Glastonbury's known for their nice locals.
Yes, absolutely.
And a lot of pubs still try to please everyone. You've built something with a very clear identity. Why do you think that works?
I mean, I think there's never been any question about being completely unapologetically myself. And it just so happens that people happen to like it, which is great. I think it's also because we made it very clear from the get-go that we wanted to work with the local community. Glastonbury is very community-minded. Yeah. Everyone knows everyone. So, you know, when I first moved in, within a few days, I'd gone to see the local butcher to introduce myself. I was making sure I was working with the local farmers. There was never any point where I wanted to alienate the locals. And I think that that's been an important thing. We've always monitored our price levels. We've always been very mindful of our pricing. Yeah. You know, we've got the big gourmand because that allows us to keep the price level below a certain point. But it also means that it's affordable for people. And I think the fact that we've tried to make it so the people who grow the vegetables can also afford to eat it has meant that people have been much more welcoming. We haven't been the people who've come in from London and said, well, I'm doing this for the locals. The locals are what keep me going in winter. I work with local beer makers, wine producers. So the fact that we have endeavoured to involve the local community, I think has been very helpful. We're still doing the music night that has been going on in this building for 15 years. So every Sunday night there's a blues jam. The previous owner ran it, and now we still have it with the same people. So people have been coming here for over a decade every Sunday for the blues jam.
And do you think there's still pressure in hospitality to soften or simplify culturally specific foods and dishes?
I would definitely say that there are some... I would definitely say that there is pressure to sort of homogenize it. I think a lot of people expect me to make a kebab, or, you know, people will say, oh, you make hummus and falafel. Well, I don't just make hummus and falafel. It's a very unique take on it, and it's very much a personal spin on it. But I think people they come in with an expectation of what Arab food is, and they think that I'm just going to do big plates of like grilled meat. Whereas that takes away from the idea that people don't expect it to be refined. They don't expect it to be delicate. And I think that's something I really enjoy challenging as a concept. So when someone comes in and has a dessert and it's got like beautiful rochers and it's considerate and layered, I don't think that people expect that. So I really enjoy the fact that we challenge that misconception about it.
And surprise them with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a delicious surprise.
Yeah, there's worse surprises. How would you describe Queen of Cups food to someone who's never ever been?
Someone asked me to sum it up in 3 words recently, and I said vivacious, personal, and filling.
That's brilliant.
Because I always say to people, if you're coming in, come in wearing elasticated trousers. I'm a consummate feeder. And if someone leaves hungry, I've not done my job properly. I think I've inherited this need to feed people from my grandmother, whereas I want you to feel satiated. I want people to feel the love that's in the food and the care. That's not just from me, it's from my whole team, from every person within this building.
And I mean, slightly similar to the question someone recently asked you, but which dish best sums up the pub?
Oh gosh, you know, I think that's a difficult one, in that I would say something we're very well known for is our breads and our dips. We do an incredible bread that's made by a local baker. That we finish on a charcoal grill with comfy garlic oil and loads of flaky salt. But it's our dips. We don't just do a hummus and labneh. The labneh, at the moment, for example, it's made with wild rocket, with a lovage stalk vinegar that's dressing more wild rocket, with a comfy garlic kataifi and green shasta and garlic chives. And so it's not just labneh.
Yeah.
You know, the hummus, it's got crispy chili oil that's spiked with loads of baharat, and a date confiture with flaked almonds and rose petals. So I love the fact that we're taking dips and we're elevating them. And I think that in its most simplistic way, sort of sums up what we do best.
Yeah, definitely. It's sort of reinventing classics that perhaps people are more comfortable with.
Exactly.
Spicing them up a little bit. Which ingredient or flavour do you think British pub food underuses?
Underuses? Oof. I mean, I've been to plenty of pubs where I've thought, why is there a lot more salt on these chips? If you're serving me chips, make them salty, please. I want salty chips.
Agreed. And is there anything you think that perhaps is overused in British cuisine? Don't want to slag off the
No.
Brits.
I mean, the thing is, I love a British pub lunch. I love a Sunday roast. I am a fan of the classics. Give me a toad in a hole and I'm a very happy bunny. But overused, you know what? I'm not a big ketchup person. I think there are much better dips to use.
I agree. Okay, and you trained classically French, butchered professionally, worked in Michelin kitchens and Middle Eastern restaurants. Where do all those influences come from?
I would say I'm a culmination. My food and myself are a culmination of all of the experiences that I've had. So, you know, while I was at cookery school at Leeds, I was doing the classic French training, but your girl needed some money, so I had a weekend job at the butcher's. Couldn't afford that one without some sort of job, and you know, then I knew immediately after I left cookery school it's for restaurants for me. So I was like, well, where are the most top rated in London? So that's where I went. I mean, I'm half Jordanian, so it was always going to have some connection to Arab food.
Yeah.
There was always going to be some sort of homage, some sort of suggestion of my heritage in my food. So I think that is definitely where the most of the influence comes from. I would always say my grandmother was always a great influence to me as well.
Yeah. With her pickles.
With her pickles. They're on the menu as Tate's pickles, and Tate is the Arabic for grandmother.
It's beautiful. And you recently wrote that kindness, not competition, can help save hospitality. What made you feel so strongly to say that? I guess it's a very hard time for the sector at the moment. But...
you know, I think that it's a horrendously difficult time for the sector at the moment. It's heartbreaking seeing so many places go under. So many talented, astoundingly talented people losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods. It's not just the owners, but it's the staff, it's the management, it's the dishwashers, it's the cleaners. It's a tragedy to watch. And so I just think be nice to people. Always be nice. You don't know how much people are struggling. I've had days where, you know, I've run out of something in the kitchen and I thought, oh my God, I can't do this tonight. But my neighbour's got like a dirge of it. Or, you know, my butcher, he'd had a really long weekend and something hadn't gone right. And I had some spare cakes, so I took them over to him. And it made him and his team's weekend. And I just think that we need to show compassion to each other in these times, because it's hard enough without being at each other's throat, without the competition. We are all in this together. We are all struggling together. I think, so that's why I was like, you know, if someone down the road from you is doing something well, don't then go and do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Have you experienced generosity from other operators that have sort of shaped your perspective or given you a bit more hope when it's a bit of a difficult time?
I think, yes, in that Glastonbury is a small community. I think we have a friendly relationship. The pub across the road, their tin opener broke in the middle of service the other day, and this chef just suddenly appeared at my pass with a tin of pickled chilies. I was like, Ayesha, help. And I've got like 10 checks on, but I'm like, right, I'll stop everything and open this tin for him so he can run back and finish his service. And then the other day, I forgot to order flour, like the most basic thing. And he just appeared with 3 kilos of it for me.
So lovely.
And so I just think that, you know, there is that community element already. We already do look out for each other. You know, we text each other. If something bad has happened in another pub, oh, I hope you're okay. If they've had a bad customer, we extend kindness to each other, and I don't think that's a difficult thing to do.
Especially in this sort of environment that Glastonbury is.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Such a tight-knit community.
Exactly.
And I guess you agree with me that hospitality can't survive if operators stop supporting one another.
I think it's just, I don't know if it's going to survive full stop at the moment, unless the government immediately steps in and makes changes. You know, these sort of schemes like 5% VAT on kids' meals, that's things like this are just not helpful. I think being kind to each other, lending each other a pint of milk, these are things that help with the morale. They aren't going to financially save us, but it's the camaraderie ship. It's the, I've just signed a petition, I'm going to send it to my neighbour to also sign. We stand shoulder to shoulder, and I think that's the important part of the camaraderie. But at the end of the day, the finances are still the issue here. It's the taxing, it's the policies. They're the only things that are actually going to save the industry.
Yeah, exactly. And camaraderie can't save it.
Camaraderie can't save it, but at least we're all on a sinking ship together.
Yeah. And what would you say good hospitality actually means to you?
To me, good hospitality is, as a guest, for example, if I was to go somewhere and I feel welcomed. I feel like the staff who are serving me genuinely care about my experience. It's when I can see or hear the kitchen, and I can see how everyone's talking to each other, when the chef is laughing with the waiters at the pass, when you can see that it's a building based on love and joy and fun and happiness, and of course great food. That has to be part of it. Good food, good wine, but it's all the other parts around it. I think you can taste when you have a beautiful meal, but there's no passion or love or joy in it. I think that's very apparent. So it's cooking and the great drinks they're part of it, but it's the whole experience.
So hospitality can be brutal physically and mentally, as we all know. How do you protect yourself and your team from burning out?
Burnout is a real danger in this industry, and I think especially for chef owners, or any owner, because we're the ones, especially in times of difficult economics, we are putting in the extra hours, so we're trying to keep labour costs down. But for me in particular, I like to cap my chef's hours at 45. 40 preferably, but sometimes it's 45. But I think it's incredibly important that people have a good work-life balance. If someone needs time off, you listen to them, you talk to them. If someone is having a bad day, it does not take anything out of my day if one of my chefs comes to me and says, I'm struggling, can we have a chat? And we will go to the private dining room. I will sit with them for as long as they need and help signpost them to the relevant help. Because there's amazing local mental health support in every part of the country. There's also things like the Burnout Chef project. So there are so many different ways we can support each other. And I personally, as an owner, I take it as a responsibility to ensure the welfare of my team. There are great mental health first aid initiatives, which I've done that. And I think that more owners and business owners and managers should be doing, because it's hard, it's tough. We are working on our feet for 12 hours. That is, when I tell my friends who aren't in hospitality, I just do a 15-hour shift, they think it's bonkers. But it's just the reality of the industry. But we can challenge those realities by ensuring people get time off, that they're not missing their best friend's birthday. They're able to go to their brother's wedding. I remember as a young chef, I missed so much of that. I missed my best friend's wedding. She didn't talk to me for years. And I get that. I understand why she was annoyed. But I would not wish that on other chefs or other people, just as I had to go through it. It's not a badge of honor. So I think that's why it's important to listen to your team, see what they need, and go from there, really. Listening to people is half of the battle, and then acting on what you feasibly can, that's the next step.
I think good kitchens are quite different than they used to be now as well. Talking about things and just treating people with respect.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're also in a time where people are much more aware of mental health and mental health crises. I've had my own struggles with it, and I've always been very open about it with my team. And it's destigmatizing it. There is no shame in it. If you are struggling, if you're depressed, if you've got anxiety, that is okay. But as it's up to your boss to be responsible in making sure they're helping you how they can.
Absolutely. And has success made things harder or easier emotionally? I guess you're not missing any more weddings anymore at home.
You know what? I will cover the shift if someone needs it off. I will give up an event if I have to ensure that my team are having a life, because I'm very lucky that they want to work for me. I work in a really hard industry. So I'm always grateful that they still come into work every day. They're happy to be here. I mean, success. God, I still work a lot in the kitchen. Unless the only days off I have are when I'm going to work at another event. So I'm off this weekend, but that's because I'm at events all weekend working. It hasn't dulled my passion to still be creating excellent food. If anything, we just have more customers now, which is great. So we keep them coming. But it's made it more challenging in that it's bigger things to navigate. Someone's asked me for an opinion on something, and I'm going, oh God, I'm in the middle of prepping 5 kilos of broad beans, and now I'm thinking about the economic ramifications of the new VAT policy. So I feel like I've definitely had to learn to multitask a lot more, and my brain is full in a lot more ways. But I've got an amazing team around me who support me, so it's all right.
And so now, Speaking of success, we'll talk a little bit about your top 50 gastro pubs
Bonkers.
Chef of the Year award.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
I think it's just up there, actually.
What did winning the Estrella Damm Chef of the Year mean to you personally?
You know what, it still doesn't feel real. You know, because we were sat there, we knew we got into the top 50, and I think, and you know, we heard Queen of Cups called, and after that, me and my GM sat back, we're like, okay, our name's on the list now, cool, we're done now.
Yeah, have some drinks.
Yeah, absolutely, enjoy it, we've got our bit. And then it was when Ed Beddington, the wonderful editor of the Morning Advertiser, started to call the Chef of the Year, and she said, this chef always celebrates her culture. And my GM turned to me and went, that's you. And I was like, nah. Like, open up another bottle of Estrella. And then he said my name, and you know what, we work so hard and we put our all into everything we're doing. So to get that recognition, it's amazing. And I know I'm not doing the typical thing. I know I'm kind of really following my own path and my own route. So the fact that doing what I do and being me was awarded, I'm like, yeah. It's pretty cool. It's still very cool.
Definitely. Was there a moment when you realised Queen of Cups had become nationally recognised?
No, I still sometimes get a little bit of the imposter syndrome. Yeah. I think I have days where I'll try a dish and be like, oh my God, this is excellent. What amazing thing we've created. But then I'll have days where I'm like, we just were mentioned in Forbes magazine and we just make fancy hummus. So I think it oscillates. It oscillates between being incredibly proud of myself, my team, and everyone who's part of this. But it also is times where it is like, oh my God, that's us.
Like a bit of disbelief.
Yeah, completely. It's, you know, when you don't always believe it's going to happen, and then it does, and it takes a minute to kind of set in.
And do awards like those change anything operationally, or has anything changed for you guys since?
I think that they sometimes bring a little bit more custom, which is nice. But for me, I think I wrote an article in the Morning Advertiser about this. That awards are validation for the teams that work hard. It's, you know, it's lovely to have a big shiny paperweight, essentially. They're very nice to have, but at the end of the day, it's an external body validating you for all the hours that you and your team do, the hard work, the labor. Because, you know, I mean, I won Chef of the Year, but it's not possible without people around me. Yeah. So, you know, operationally, people come up to us and go, congratulations. You know, we might get a couple more interviews in the local press. But more than anything, I think there's a celebration of what we do and the fact that people in our industry, our peers, see us.
Yeah,
that's huge.
And that you're doing it right.
Yeah, apparently so.
That's all you could wish for. And is there any pressure that comes with being labelled one of the best chefs?
I'm like,
not to put pressure on you.
Never like me. Because I think I know there are chefs who are technically more talented. I'm no fool in that. I know there are people doing it a lot longer than me. But I'm also aware that no one is doing what I do. So for me, there is a pressure in that. I want to keep it up. I want to live up to this expectation that people have of me now, and this belief that people have in me. In my own head, I don't always believe it, but I think maybe I've got to start to do it a bit more.
Definitely. Okay, and so now, as the Queen of Cups has become sort of a destination restaurant in a small town, did that sort of surprise you?
Yes and no, because I knew we were doing something very different to everyone else in the area. So I knew that we would always get people coming to visit us. And, you know, I have thrown myself at every opportunity, Great British Menu, MasterChef. Putting myself out there was a means of telling people about Queen of Cups and getting them to come here. So I think that, you know, that was a natural progression from the media and the press and the TV, is that people will come to us, which I think is, being in a rural town, we can't rely entirely on footfall. Yes, we have wonderful tourist seasons, but in the depths of winter, the wonderful locals, it's still a small town that can't make us survive alone. Yeah,
and well, you spoke about sort of having the butchers 5 doors down and having great relationships with the people that grow the veg and things like that. But is there any other advantages of building something so monumentous in such a small area?
I think it feels incredibly special. I think that's part of it. It feels personal. I've been chatting to an amazing local cheese maker called White Lake Cheese, and he's going to be making Palestinian cheese for us, which is awesome. It's so cool. So not only does having these relationships forge like this community, but it also means that I can create things that I wouldn't normally be able to. One of our suppliers grew a load of Syrian Aleppo chilies for us. Amazing. Another one grew wild za'atar for us. That's awesome that these people are growing. And my local butcher, he'll come in and say, I've got llama, do you want some? I'm like, yes, I would love some. It was mainly so I could say I was doing llama shawarma. I loved that.
That's brilliant.
It was great and it sold out. But I think it's not just about the sense of community, it's about the creativity it then affords me as a chef.
Yeah.
And also in the sustainability element, you know, I want to be supporting my local economy. I want to be sourcing things sustainably. I think it makes the team also be much more aware of their wastage, because the farmer comes in with the produce. It's still got soil on it. So we see where it comes from. So it creates a great appreciation.
Yeah.
It also tells the story to the customer, because the front of house will be like, I saw that cabbage come in this morning. So it's a sense of storytelling it creates as well. It's from where it came from to how it ended up on the plate. We know everything, and that makes it quite special in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of enables all levels of staff to sort of educate themselves and the guests on what they're eating.
Exactly.
I mean, you have definitely answered this throughout, but how important is community to the pub's success? How do they keep you going in winter when you don't have like the Glastonbury crowds of June, the festival
Absolutely.
crowds?
The local community has been everything to us. You know, the first few years we didn't have all this press and this sort of monumental sort of stories that we have about us now. So they were the ones who were coming in and buying the food. They were the ones telling their friends about it. They were the ones commenting on our Facebook pages. They were the ones who made it all possible. I mean, all the art in the restaurant has been lent to us by local artists. You know, we had someone just drop in some cider they're making. My cleaner, her husband brought me around a laundry basket just full of homegrown chard. Oh. I was chatting to a lovely little old lady in the butcher's, and she said, I've got a couple of spare quinces. Do you want them? I was like, oh, yeah.
Love
and
quince.
She turned up with 4 Tesco bags for life full of them. So community comes and surprises you in so many ways. And, you know, so we've been able to give back. We've donated to like lots of local raffles and community events. We give back where we can because the community has given so much to us.
That's a lovely ethos. And also, you must have had quince paste coming out of your...
I had so much quince in my freezer. We made it into a sorbet in the end, and I was like, there's just too much.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, quince and rose sorbet. It was delicious.
Beautiful.
And then one of my chefs took some home to make some mead. So,
Nice.
yeah.
What a versatile fruit. Okay, and what pub dish would you say deserves Middle East reinvention?
Ooh. See, I love the pub classics, so I don't necessarily want to mess with them too much. You know what? I'm gonna be so sacrilegious here. I want to take a toad in the hole.
Yeah.
But I want to do like a merguez sausage with it. So a really heavily spiced sausage. And then, okay, I'm going to annoy every Arab, every Jordanian here. I want to take jamid, which is that it's a dried yogurt that you cook lamb in to make the national dish of Jordan, mansaf. So it's like loose, sour yogurt with meat juices in it. I'm not explaining as well. It's incredible. Look up mansaf. But I want jamid on the Yorkshire pudding that my merguez is going into.
Like a gravy twist.
Yeah, it's a gravy twist, but a yogurt. I will put yogurt in everything I can. I love yogurt. I'm obsessed with labneh. Yeah, I think that's where I'd go. I've just thought of that. I don't know if that's monstrous or not, but I feel like it would be something I would want to eat at 2 a.m.
Those are the best dishes sometimes. And what's one ingredient you could never live without?
Sumac. Oh no, actually, or labneh. Sumac or labneh. That's a tough one because
Very quick to answer that.
Oh yeah, no, I will put sumac in everything, sweet, savoury, you name it. But then labneh, I've been known to put it in sandwiches, put it on pasta. I will put labneh on everything.
That's something I would smell like coriander if I could.
Yes, I love coriander. I know it's a genetic thing when people don't like it, but
Genetic,
I love it.
I got the good genes.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Okay, and what's the most overrated food trend right now without annoying any people?
Oh, how not to upset anyone too much. Let me think. because I spend a lot of time on social media because it's, you know, it's part of our jobs now. My current pet peeve that I hate seeing online is when people are making like a chopped salad at home and they're putting meat in KitchenAid, like a chicken breast, and they're like, this is a great way to chop up your salad. Stop putting meat in a KitchenAid. It does not need to be whisked. You'll see it online. It's infuriating. It makes so much more mess. Just use the knife and a board.
The good old way.
When people use accessories that aren't intended for a job to do it, just chop it. Just chop. It's not that hard. Use a knife.
And what would you say too many gastropubs are doing wrong? Or if I rephrase that, perhaps, what would you say to pubs that are looking to improve their food offering?
I think trying to forge your own path. I think try to work with the local suppliers, try and be seasonal. I think that's one of the first things I would always recommend. But then there's also, I would say, sometimes you just don't need to mess with the classics. If you're going to do a beurre blanc, make a damn good beurre blanc. Make it exceptionally well. Focus on, have a smaller menu, make what you make incredibly well. And I don't want to have a 4-page menu. Like, I want concise dishes that are done amazingly.
I agree. My friend once said, never trust a Chinese that sells fish and chips.
Yes, I love that. Or an omelette. Like, no, I don't want omelette from the Chinese.
Okay, and now a little bit about advice you'd give to other people that are looking to succeed. And I know it's such a hard time at the moment, but what have you learned about running a sustainable hospitality business since opening? What would be your key takeaways?
I would say it is hard, but it's not giving up is one of the hardest things. It's finding ways to be thrifty. I remember it was the guys from Fallow mentioned they cut all their sponges in half. I do that now because you use half as many. It's something very simple like that makes a huge difference in your sustainability. Being sustainable is a huge thing as well. Working with seasonal local produce, it's going to be cheaper than flying asparagus in from like Argentina. It's how to be thrifty, because that is one of the hardest things. I mean, it's becoming a bit of a joke that if someone leaves the door open, I will appear out somewhere and ask, were you born in a barn? It's like, I'll just appear. It's a running joke now. I'll just like appear around the door and ask it. It's, you know, turn the heating off. Don't leave the taps on. They all seem like such small things that our parents used to tell us about at home, but actually they make a monumental difference. Watch your wastage. Wastage is the biggest killer. You know, my team wanted a new blender, and I was like, if I have a week with no wastage, you can have a new blender. It's making your team understand the importance of it, because, you know, it's all well and good being the person who sits and buys the things, but if your team don't actually understand the value of what they're doing, and also, I think one of the important things is making sure your team know what they're working for and what they're working towards. I will make sure I'll send my team all the good reviews that we get. Make them realize that what they're doing is worth something and their contribution is important and special. It's about people. It's making them feel valued. I think that's such an important element.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is one decision that made a bigger difference than expected, other than cutting the sponges in half?
I mean, that, honestly, I highly recommend it at home as well. Gosh, I mean, the thing is, these decisions show up in hundreds of small decisions every day. Sustainability is one of the quickest ways to save money in a business. I mean, people assume it's going to be prohibitively expensive, but actually it's a great cost-cutting measure. So I think businesses should be looking to be more sustainable. It comes down to training, procurement. All of these things are very important elements. But it's not a department, it's not a person. It's a filter by which 100 decisions are made every single day. Yeah. We got rid of most of our blue roll that's disposable and replaced it with using rewashable cloths. I wouldn't ever say there's just one thing that has made a massive impact, as opposed to all these little small differences, all these little changes every day that you then embed in the culture. Those are the things that make the difference. You know, use your leftover lemon and lime bits to make an oleo saccharum. There are all these tiny little changes you can make that do make a difference when you sit down and do your quarters. Yeah. You will notice it.
Yeah, definitely. And where would you like the Queen of Cups to be in 5 years' time?
Oh, well, first and foremost, I'd like it to still be here, so government sort it out, please. I think that's, still here, still going from strength to strength. You know, I'd love my same team to be here, but I am under no illusion everyone's going to stay forever, as much as I wish I could.
Yeah.
But I'd like more people to know about it. I would like us to have a book. I'd love a Queen of Cups cookbook. I would love people at home making my falafel. That would be awesome. Yeah. But most of all, I just hope that we're successful, we're thriving. We still have the same ethos that we do now. We still have the same passion that we do now. So yeah, long live Queen of Cups.
Long live. And finally, this is the hardest question of them all. What would be your dream death row dinner? So starter, main, dessert, and drink.
Okay. I mean, the drink, I'm just going to take a wine cellar. But no, I think, so to start with, I want a mezze selection. I want really good, fresh, warm pita breads. We're going to go a little bit traditional Middle Eastern here probably, but I really want fresh, warm pita breads from the bakery next to my grandmother's in Jordan. But then I want the lab nibbles from Akab in Notting Hill. It's a Palestinian chef, Adi Katan, and he does the perfect salty little lab nibbles. And he has an Aleppo one, he's got a sumac one. So I want all the breads and I want all the dips and lots of laughter with that. My main, the mansaf, my grandmother's mansaf. So I mean, it's a dish that probably like at this table, and you eat it with your hands, and it's rice and loads of lamb, and it's cooked in this fermented, dried yogurt from Bedouin communities. So you eat it with your hands. If you really like someone, you flick a ball in their mouth. It's something quite sweet. But I like food that's very tactile. Yeah. Alternatively, a good roast chicken that you eat with your hands.
Yeah.
I think it was Jay Rayner said in his book about the 10 Commandments of food, thou shalt always eat with your hands. And he talks about the pleasure of eating a whole roast chicken with your hands. I'm so here for that. Just give me a whole roast chicken that I can maul, and I'm very happy. Dessert. Oh, I've got a sweet tooth. I love dessert. But I might say my own chocolate cremo. We do a dark chocolate and Persian lime cremo, and it's with a preserved lemon, ginger, and bay sorbet. And it just hits every note that I want it to. It's chocolatey, it's decadent, it's sharp, and pastry section needs to watch out when I'm walking past. I'm like, quality control again? I know I've done it twice today, but I think that is my dream dessert. And then to drink, I would probably go, I mean, I should say Jordanian red wine, but I'm a big Bordeaux girl. Left Bank Bordeaux, give me something big and red and actually, no, scrap that. I'm going to go for a Valpolicella. I want Amarone della Valpolicella from Allegheny, and I want a bottle of it.
A whole bottle.
Yeah, a whole bottle.
With a straw.
yeah. But we're going to decant it first. I'm not a monster.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ayesha.
No worries.
Talking to you. Thank you for watching the next episode of On the Path. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, follow, do all the right things.
The button like up here somewhere, like
yeah, just down there.
Down there somewhere.
Thanks, Ayesha.
It's all right.